And welcome. This is the Guys Next Door. I'm your radio host, Ron Arenas, and my co-host, Pastor John McLean.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, we have a powerhouse show today.
We do. It's an
I'm
action-packed show.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit back and listen today. You know better than that, don't you?
Yeah, right. That'll last for about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we have two guests today. Our first guest, after serving 24 years in the Tucson Police Department, and in 2011 he became the Marana Police Chief, and then in 2020 he became the Marana Town Manager. Welcome, Terry Rosema.
Well, thank you,
Man.
Ron. It's good to be here with you guys. Hey, can you hear
There
me
you
okay?
go. Yeah,
better.
there
All
you
right,
are.
there we
Very
go.
good. Now you're here.
Yeah,
Now I'm here.
He was in another
Now I'm
room
here,
just
and
now.
it's-
Now he's in the right room.
And it's good to be with you still. Still good to be with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, and that's an impressive resume. I don't know, from your perspective, Terry, I don't know what it's looking like, but that's pretty cool. Now it kind of also puts into perspective, much like when I first met Corey, I was just like, remind me what you do, who you are, and he's just like, well, I do a lot of different things, but then like something clicked and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, you're Corey Williams, I'm a fan. And the same with you, having worked with the city in so many capacities. Like I mentioned to you, I run a homeless veteran transition program,
Yeah.
but I'm working with the unhoused population here in the city for almost 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
And on the good side and the bad side of the Tucson Police Department. So
Mhm.
I'm sure probably when you worked with the Tucson Police Department, we weren't the best, we weren't on the best sides with each other. And you may or may not recognize my name. Let's hope not. But thankfully,
I don't.
yeah,
I
good,
don't,
good.
so, yeah.
But thankfully, we are on that good side where we work hand in hand. So just to see kind of, both of us, 2011 is when I really started working with the Tucson Police Department, and now your journey from then to now, it looks like we both have grown quite a bit. So it's beautiful to see just on paper what it looks like, and I look forward to hearing what, that testimony and what that hero story from then to now looks like as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a hero story,
I
but
would.
it's
I
a story.
would. Yeah.
It's a story. Everybody's got a story, I guess.
Mhm.
That's right. Everyone does have a story,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here.
All right.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Marana. What's going on in Marana?
Oh, man, if you drive up I-10, you can probably see a lot of what's going on. Stuff is popping up and going vertical all over the place. We've got, quite a few housing projects that are going on, but we also have quite a bit of industrial companies that are approaching us right now,
Yeah.
looking
Mhm.
to plant their flag in our
Mhm.
community. So we're trying to make sure that we're very thoughtful about how we
Mm.
proceed with that,
Mhm.
because lessons learned from other jurisdictions that have kind of gone down that path with industrial entities and kind of flooded their communities
Mm.
with, data centers and things like
Mm.
that can be unattractive, can be a little bit noisy, use a lot of water, use a lot of electricity. You want to make sure you're really cognizant about how you approach that. So we've been working on that, making sure that if we do anything with some of those larger industrial type companies and businesses, we put it in a place where it doesn't impact our residents, and we can still benefit from some of the things that do come along with that. But something really exciting is we just put out an RFP today, a request for proposal. You throw out all these acronyms that nobody knows, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's because you're a former cop.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, man, on the civilian side of things, man, they got, like the public works, they got more acronyms. Airports.
really?
Oh my gosh. Acronyms, unbelievable. But we put it out an RFP to partner with a developer because we have some land right there where the Marana Municipal Complex is. And Marana doesn't really have a downtown, so to speak. The old downtown back in the, 1930s, 1940s, I think, was wiped away when they put I-10 through there.
Okay.
We are going to partner with a developer to actually build from the ground up a really unique, special destination type of downtown. So we're really excited about that. Like I said, it hit the streets today, and it's going to be open for about 2 months. we'll see what kind of interest we get on that. But
That's cool.
really looking forward to that. We got a new community center, an aquatic center that's going vertical right now. They gave me a tour of that yesterday. Oh my gosh, that place is going to be amazing. I can't wait to get Corey over there because we got 3 basketball courts, and Corey and I are going to do a little one-on-one.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, I used to play a little ball in my day, Corey.
Nice. You're a shooter, a driver. What's your game?
I was a shooter and a driver.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah, I did it all.
You believe him, Corey?
I wouldn't be able to get past him. No, I'm
Believe
just.
him?
I definitely believe him.
Yeah,
and
okay.
he's checking in about 15 years too late with me.
For sure.
It's been a
Fair
while
enough.
since I got
Fair
him down
enough.
to court.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been a long time for me too.
I'll be your
Corey.
stand-in, Corey. I'll be your stand-in. buddy.
Yeah, so lots of stuff going on, and just really excited about the future for the town,
That's cool.
and working really hard with the council and our staff to just make sure that we do it right. Listening to our residents, we got a lot of master plans going on right now. Transportation's a big thing right now.
Mhm.
Many large projects, interchanges, Cortero and I-10. Tangerine and I-10, Marana and I-10. Those are all big projects. Each one of those costs anywhere from $150 to $200 million a piece. So, we don't have the money to pay for those up front. So you got to work on creative ways, and those are actually ADOT's facilities, but we're the ones that are dealing with the fallout of them not being fully built out at this point. So.
As you know, as everyone knows, we would be so happy when Cortero was redone.
Yeah, it's going to be painful, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be
painful for
very painful
about
couple of
18
years.
months to 2 years. It'll be painful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's painful on Ina right now going west, like at any time after 2 p.m.
Mhm.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
because
with Orange Grove shut
Mhm,
down? Oh,
yeah.
my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
takes,
and Thornydale's rough right now,
Yeah.
man. There's no question.
it takes at least an extra 10 minutes
Yep.
to get through there.
Mhm.
So, which, I mean, that's first world problems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to wait 10 minutes, man. There's people in, San Diego, L.A., they would love a 10-minute commute, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So,
So, Terry, you're originally from Michigan, right?
yeah.
So,
yeah, I
so
am.
what brought you over to
Go
Tucson?
Blue, by the way. Yeah, I'm a big Wolverine fan. No offense to the University of Arizona folks in the audience and in the studio right now.
Yeah, we don't take any offense, but we do. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was graduating from college and just looking for a job. I was actually working for the Grand Rapids Police Department while I was going through school as a community service officer.
Mhm.
And so actually this May marked 39 years in public service for me.
Wow.
Yeah, long time. 1985 started with them. And I was trying to get hired as a cop there, and they just weren't hiring. And I was walking through the criminal justice department at Calvin College in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And there was a recruiting pamphlet there with a guy. The guy in the picture turned out to be a guy named Dick Miranda, who would eventually, he was a sergeant at the time, but he would eventually become the police chief,
Wow.
20 some years later. And I saw that recruiting pamphlet, and I
Interesting,
thought,
yeah.
Tucson, Arizona?
Huh.
Where the heck is Tucson? I didn't even know where it was, man.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So, yeah, I had to call them, long distance, pay for the extra charges, the whole bit.
Right.
Ask them to ship me out a application.
A packet or
Yep.
something, yeah.
Send me a packet. I filled it out, shipped it back. And about 7-8 months later, man, I was a Tucson police officer. So
That's
flew out
wow.
here a couple times and tested. And
So their loss is our reward. Yeah, their loss is
I
our
don't know.
gain. Yeah, and that's funny. Richard Miranda, he was the police chief after Villasenor.
he was before Villasenor.
Before Villasenor.
Before,
Yeah.
Roberto, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Taz.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's I knew both those guys. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. I guess before we leave, tell us about, you do a podcast as well. Tell us about that and how people can tune into that.
Yeah, it's called Real Talk with the Town, and we started it to really answer questions. Next door, there's always rumors and people complaining about things, and a lot of times they're just misinformed. They have bad information. So we started it as a way to really kind of respond to that and to get accurate information out. And we started taking questions from folks. Sometimes we just look on Nextdoor at the things that they're talking about and say, hey, let's do an episode on that because they're clearly misinformed. And that's how we started doing it. It's been highly, highly successful in terms of reducing a lot of the online chatter and dissatisfaction. And we've been doing it since, I want to say, December
And how can
No.
people tune into it?
They can get it on their Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, you can get it.
Awesome.
Very good. Well, we're here with Terry Rosema. Next segment will be with Corey Williams. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tucson Pack and Ship, Crest Insurance, Tucson Tamale, and Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
And we'll be back right after this break. Definitely go to veteranrescuemission.org or commongoodmediagroup.com to get more information about the shows or the work we do to connect homeless veterans with housing or help those with air conditioning and plumbing.
And welcome back to the Guys Next Door. We've been talking with Terry Rosema and Corey Williams. Corey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, even though you got me here with a Wolverine.
Yeah.
But hey, we were 3-0 against the Wolverine in my day, so
okay.
we never lost to Michigan. So I'm good.
Very good, very good.
Well, he's a really nice Wolverine, if that's a thing. I don't know if those are oxymorons, but he is a really cool guy. I will give him that. So yeah.
Sure.
So, Corey, I learned something about you today when I was reading stuff about you. I read that you graduated from U of A in '96 with a degree in political science.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any ambitions in going into politics?
No, the plan was to set the framework to go to law school. Because at the time, if you were on scholarship, there was funds available to go to law school. Matt Muehlbach went to U of A Law School
Right.
completely free. So I was like, wow, I can become a lawyer for free.
Mhm.
So let me just do the coursework, get the background, and not that it really applies, but that's what I was told.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I graduated with a degree in political science,
Mhm.
and then I played 12 years of pro ball, and I just really didn't have it in me to go back to a classroom at age 34.
Okay.
Just-
All right.
it was there for me to do. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Do you think if you would have become a lawyer, you would have been like an agent or a,
I don't know what kind of law I probably would have wanted to practice. I think as I got older and started to see how the legal system worked, criminal justice, tons of different ways you can practice law.
Mhm.
I don't know where I would have settled, but I know that I'm not the type of person that want to get up every day and push paper. I want to have an impact. So I probably would have leaned towards criminal justice or, some type of situation where you come home and you feel like you accomplished something.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do something that would pique my interest and be a challenge.
Yeah.
And I got friends who are lawyers or corporate lawyers. And they look over contracts all day, and
Ooh.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
they
I think that
make
would
a
be
ton of
rough.
money. They make
Yeah.
a ton of money, but they don't do anything exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it's interesting. I don't know if this is that segue that Ron's setting up. I never know. He's a surprise man. But with
I
the
surprised
work,
myself too.
the work you do with Crest Insurance, it almost seems like there is kind of like some corporate law, some type of financial law incorporated there, and you're able to use kind of those skills and maybe even that passion and apply that to Crest Insurance. But again, this may be just my segue pivot, trying to reach inside Ron's mind on this one.
That was good. Yeah, I like
that's
that.
all I got. That's all I
Oh,
got.
that was
I'm out of
nice.
here. I'll see you guys next time.
No, but you make a great point. I mean, one thing about insurance, it's kind of like the analyst work I do with ESPN. Once you step on the other side, you see insurance everywhere. It literally is part of our economy. It's part of our culture. You don't see it as a regular person. You're not mindful of it. But now, once I became a broker, it really sucks because all you see are policies.
Mhm.
You meet somebody and you're like, how old are you? Do you need life insurance?
No.
Or how many people you own a business? How many cars? How many trucks do you have?
Right.
And so you're always seeing policies everywhere you go, and you can't unsee them. It's like, hey, this is my buddy. He has a construction company. And you're like, cha-ching. Hi, my name's Corey. So you're constantly seeing all the ways that people manage risk, whether it's home and auto and all that stuff, and you can't unplug because you're not going to build a building. You're not going to do a highway. Nothing in our society happens without somebody covering that risk before it happens.
Mhm.
And then the people who decide to cover the risk, how do they come up with the amount of money that it's going to take
Mhm.
to make that possible? Can that person secure that policy? Builder's risk, workers' comp, health insurance, the great debate with health care reform, like it literally shapes our society and nobody thinks about it, but it's just this underlying force that has to happen for anything to move forward. So,
Right.
everything I interpret everything through my insurance eye, which I really wish I did. And it's the same with being a basketball analyst now.
Sure.
I'm a very dispassionate fan. I can't see sports as a fan anymore.
Yeah,
I see
you're
them as an
analyzing
analyst.
it.
I'm like,
Mm.
X equals Y, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You can get excited, you can get sad, but I'm not surprised at the outcome of the game because I broke it down before it even started. So
Mhm.
it
Right.
takes all the fun out of it, and I don't yell at the screen. I just take notes and see what it is.
Very cool.
Mm.
Well, tell us a little bit more about Crest Insurance.
Well, you know, we're Arizona's largest independent agency, and what that means is we're locally owned. All of our employees are here in the community. We give back to the community that we do business in, and that's
Right.
something that not a lot of agencies can say. The person that you're dealing with may live in Tucson, but the company that owns that, the company that oversees that or owns that company may be publicly traded, maybe out of New York or some other city. So you're doing business with people who are taking resources out of the community. They're writing the policies, they're making commission, and that's pretty much it. We give and we give and we give. In our 10 years of existence, or actually about 14 years of existence, we've given over $3 million to Southern Arizona charities.
Wow.
And we
That's
tell
awesome.
people that's our story. You know, we started up locally. It was founded, its original roots. Cody Ritchie founded Crest Insurance in 2010. There were a lot of guys who were part of an older firm called Mueller and Associates. Bob Mueller played basketball at the U of A in the 50s and started
Okay.
Mueller and Associates, a well-known insurance agency in Tucson, homegrown. You know, Bob passed away. It changed hands a few times with the bank, and then Cody Ritchie started Crest in 2010 with a few guys that were from that original crew. So we've got a great Arizona story. But the thing that sets us apart, you might see Geico and Progressive on your Super Bowl commercials and all that stuff, but you'll see Crest Insurance at the Girl Scouts 5K run. You'll see Crest Insurance at the Sugar Skull sponsorship. You'll see Crest Insurance sponsoring U of A, ASU, NAU, you know, all the local colleges, football, basketball, coaches shows, radio shows. We invest in the community that we all live in. And the last part about it is you're going to talk to a person. You're
Right.
not, you know what I'm saying? When you
Yeah.
call us, there's no chat bot on our website. You know the name of your account manager. If your house floods or you have a roofing issue or monsoon season strikes, there's a real person you're going to call. That real person is going to call you back and handle that claim. That is something that the entire industry has gotten away from. So we're very proud of that.
Awesome. That is so awesome. How long have you been with Crest Insurance?
Oh, man. I can't believe it. I was 2007, so about 15, 16 years now.
Wow,
Yeah, I was
okay.
surprised when I celebrated like 15 years last year. So I've been there. It's the only real job I've ever had. I went straight from playing ball to doing insurance. So, you know, time flies.
Well, that's not the
Good group
worst
of people.
story to tell, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. So, yeah, it was something that I didn't know that I'd like. But once they explained residual income and commissions, I was all in. After that.
And you've worn so many different hats, and you still do. You're an analyst with ESPN for college
Yeah.
basketball.
That was a thing that kind of fell in my lap about 10, 11 years ago, doing
Yeah.
local games with Dave Sitton. It was
Oh,
one of
yeah?
the greatest breaks of my life. Dave was so huge, and he was all Tucson all day long.
Right.
Dave Sitton was loved by everybody. He got me my start. Him and Brian Jeffries, and Brian Jeffries is the voice of Arizona. He reached out to me and took a chance on me, and I came in. And much thanks to Bob Elliott, who was the analyst for so many years. He was
Right.
back when I played, did such a great job. So I really had to step it up to be at that level. And then from there on, you know, you get an agent and you try to get in with the big boys. And I was lucky to get a break with ESPN and
Yeah. Okay.
coming up on 9 or 10 years with them.
So did you start on Fox Sports?
Started with IMG doing local Arizona broadcasts, and then
okay.
there was this weird period where I didn't have a home. And in that business, you've kind of got to work for a bunch of different networks and see who likes you and try to find a home. So my agent was just pimping me out to anybody. I was working for Fox, worked for Pac-12
That's
Network.
nice.
I
I'm
worked
sure
for
he'd
ESPN.
appreciate you saying that.
It was true. I didn't care because I was making money. So like, you know, one you
He's like,
see me.
that's fine. He's counting the money right now.
Yeah. So you want to get your face out there and you want to create some interest so that, you know, networks, they don't share talent. Not at all. If you're
Right.
predominantly a Fox guy or ESPN guy or whatever, that's your home. Because their brand is now tied into the people that are taught. Now, there'll be price wars that break out and they'll try to steal talent from each other. But primarily, you had to make a choice. And there was a fork in the road for me. I had an offer from Fox, offer from ESPN. The ESPN deal was multiple years, more work. Fox
Nice.
deal was better pay.
Oh.
But long run, I got more inventory, more work with ESPN. So I went that way, and it's probably the best choice I made because ESPN just has so much volume in terms of the conferences they do. I mean, they
Right.
do like 1,700 college basketball games a year
Oh,
across
wow.
all their platforms. So for me, it was a no-brainer. You know, you got 1,700 opportunities for me to get paid
Yeah.
versus Fox that's kind of stepped back. They're huge. Fox, Big Ten football. Fox is huge on football. They don't do a ton of West Coast basketball. I think that will change now that, you know, the Pac-12's gone and
Yeah.
the Big 12. They're going to buy some of that inventory. But yeah, it was a good decision.
It's interesting. Something that kind of I love being around you. I'm going to enjoy being around you more. And I'm not sure if this is a common theme among athletes, basketball players, a you thing, but you seem to have such this kind of like business savviness, kind of like at every stage of it, whether it was like out of high school into college, out of college into pros, out of pros into the professional world. You know, now as you're kind of progressing in your career, like all of that, you just seem to kind of really kind of understand the pieces in your life and how they fit together. Where do you think you got that from?
I've been extremely fortunate. I had a set of great parents who started me out with the things I didn't know. They covered for me. And I had a great high school coach, and he asked all the tough questions while I was being recruited. I came out to Arizona and played for a Hall of Fame coach, Lute Olson, who dropped so much knowledge in a 2-hour practice. You get exposed to that for 4 straight years.
Yeah.
You can be an analyst at that point. If you listen to what he says, and I joked with Coach before he passed away, I said, Coach, it's crazy that I'm getting a check to basically repeat all the crap that you yelled at me for 4 years, but that's what it is. So with that foundation, I was able to get kind of the cheat codes to life. Like, people were telling me how to go, what to think, what to expect, and they weren't hiding anything or sugarcoating anything. After I left Arizona, I had to scratch out a living for myself playing pro basketball in Europe. No instructions, no game plan, no manual, just get off the plane and make it happen, and dealing with shady agents in countries that didn't want to pay you, and you know, if you don't play well, you don't eat. So then I was thrown into the fire, and and you guys all know, because I think we've all had our personal trials. When you come out of that fire, you're good. Like, you wake up with the confidence that no matter what life has for me, I fed myself with a basketball.
Yeah.
I can do anything. I mean, I played basketball so well, people paid to watch it.
Yeah.
That's a confidence that an athlete brings to whatever they take for the rest of their life. And it doesn't mean they had to go pro, but it means you locked in on something, you developed a skill, you mastered your craft, and you built your own confidence, your self-reliance, your self-esteem. And that's what it's about.
Well, for people who want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Get a hold of me on Twitter, College Corey, or you can get me on Instagram, College Corey. Not giving out my phone number, but
he's not giving
that'll
out
be
his
good
phone number.
enough.
Or go
Find me
to-
on social media.
Or go to
College
Crest
Corey.
Insurance, check them out as well.
Yep.
Crest Insurance, I'm on the website.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Corey. Thank you, Terry. Thank Pastor John.
Yes, sir.
Till next week.